Let's see. Am I live? Am I live? Am I live? I believe so. Okay. Just making sure we're live. Good evening, good morning, good day, whatever time of day you're watching this. It's Mike Duffy here checking in from MupoEntertainment.com and don'tgethacked.ca. You can see I'm wearing love my Mupo Entertainment swag. What is Mupo? We're a full service entertainment company. We help business owners, influencers, service providers launch your own show. The best way to get more customers coming in, more people into your funnel, broadcast your message. Broadcast your message. I actually have a masterclass on this broadcasting your message next week, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. Not gonna talk about that right now. What we are gonna talk about is file synchronization tools, because they drive me crazy because people use stuff wrong all the time, and then it's up to the IT guy like myself to re-educate you on how you're not using things properly and then to scold you for not having backups. Why don't you have backups before you decide to use Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, Apple iCloud, or other file synchronization tools? They're not backups. OneDrive, Google Drive, iCloud, not backups. Do not rely on them to be a backup. I have many, many use cases I've encountered in the past. How many years have I been doing IT consulting? 17 years? 17 years of people crying because they thought that cloud synchronization, a cloud tool, would cover their ass and make sure that they don't lose data. That is not how this stuff works. Not how it works at all. You can use technology, but you need to verify it works, and you're patient enough to let it do its job. And then you still need to make sure you've got backups in case the cloud fails you and causes you permanent emotional damage. Anyway, so I run into this all the time. There is definitely uses for OneDrive, Google Drive, and iCloud. Each have their own uses, but you should be very, very careful that you, as the end user, have enough patience to deal with them. Why am I saying that? Okay. On Microsoft, OneDrive is built into everything, but you don't have to use it. You don't have to sign up for an account. You don't have to put all your files there. You do not have to give it permission to take over your desktop, your documents, or pictures. But for some reason, end users love clicking yes, 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 and then complain that computers are too slow. What happens when you turn on Microsoft OneDrive? What happens when you turn on Microsoft OneDrive? Microsoft OneDrive is going to try to take all your documents and send them up to the cloud and possibly break them all if you are not patient with your, if cloud tools are okay if you are purposely putting a folder or a bunch of files into that box to share them with people outside of your organization. That may be a good use, but it's not a good use to synchronize files between computers. No. Worse thing. Or trying to send all your pictures to the cloud. We know with Google Photos sucks. OneDrive sucks with photos, and iCloud is pretty bad with photos. But people are lazy and they say, yes, let the technology do all my file organization for me. And then you're like, why is everything slow? And then you reboot stuff without being patient enough to actually let things do their job. So anyway, I have a separate hour-long rant for each of these cloud services because I've seen the destruction that they do when the internet's not stable, the computer's not stable, the end user's not stable. And then the tech person trying to troubleshoot this stuff is not stable. So anyway, just a warning that if you're going to use cloud services, test them with a few files and just to see if the performance of what Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, iCloud, and all this other stuff. Because you know, test them with a small sample of your files just to see if what you think the software is going to do for you, if it actually does that. Because I just turned off Microsoft OneDrive for a client in early October of 2023. So like 5-6 weeks ago, turned off OneDrive, showed him how to email file. Like he just needs to share one or two. He just needs to share PDFs with end users. Could use DocuSign, could use Adobe Reader. All he needs to do is share a few PDFs a couple times a month with end users. Does not need OneDrive to do that. OneDrive's not the right solution to do that. However, after cleaning up a mess on the computer that OneDrive had caused in October, I have now gone back to find most of the files, although they're supposed to be backups, I'm not sure what happened to the backups. USB hard drives, like it's just a mess. USB hard drives have been unplugged, and I did eventually find files he's looking for, but they're all corrupted. All these files in OneDrive are corrupted, and I'm like, we can try to roll back Microsoft OneDrive, but that might make a bigger mess. After about 2 hours, he accepted that he's got all of his paperwork in paper documents. He literally has to go and retype a year and a half of entries back into Excel spreadsheets. So as of tonight, there is now just I have configured Windows. I'm hoping I've made Windows 11 foolproof. I'm sure we're not quite there yet, but turned on system restore was already on, gave it a larger amount of hard drive space just so there should be file history, turned on Windows backup, turned on encrypted Backblaze backup, hopefully with a few sometimes I have to make computers learn what the end user is like and then make the computer foolproof for that user. So regardless of user error and flood fire theft hackers, that even if the computer disappears, we got backups and nobody's going to have to lose time and effort re-entering their data and recreating files. At least this guy's got a paper copy of everything. It's just typing in numbers into spreadsheets that he's really missing. But I'm like, it's just unbelievable how much corrupted files OneDrive could have created in the course of a month. Not even a month, it's less than a month. But like every single file is just, it's there, doesn't open on OneDrive, doesn't open on the computer. All the files show up in Word and Excel as recent files, but like it's just, and the computer's virus free, so it's realistically somebody I don't know. It's a mess. It's like just unbelievable messes you can find in technology when the end user really doesn't know what they're doing. So it's like giving somebody who doesn't know how to drive a car and not putting them through the proper lessons. It's just the situations that they can find themselves in are just completely, it's the same mess as when I go into a new organization to audit their backups, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're supposed to be backups. but there's no backups, and the documentation that exists doesn't exist. And you call an existing IT guy, and they're like, well, this is the backups that we're using. And I'm like, none of them work. It's just, anyway, I've walked into a lot of IT messes and data management messes in my career of, well, I've been working on computers since 93, but professionally since 2005. And I see a lot of messes, and it's just surprising that when you tell people to have backups and they're like, oh, I got this backup. And then you're like, well, this backup's like 3 years old. It's not really backup because none of the files you've been working on recently are even in that backup. Or you get told there's backups and then you go look and searching through them to find, you're like, this, I need to educate more. The challenge is education, because everybody wants to do backups, but then they give you a lot of pushback when you're trying to enforce it into like a business or corporate environment. They're like, oh, we're doing this for backup and doing this for backup and doing this for backup, but then you go to audit the stuff and there's nothing. It happens a lot. Doesn't matter if customers are using managed service providers or IT people or internal staff. I usually find that maybe they have backups, but I don't feel that their backups are adequate enough for me to feel confident to go into an environment and put all of their computers and all their data and all their servers back together. Anyway, rant for the night is beware of cloud services like OneDrive, Google Drive, iCloud, and other file synchronization tools. If you don't know how it works, hire a professional. And then hire a professional to audit hire a second professional to audit the first professional's advice, because you know what? Everybody's going to have their opinion. Every professional is going to have their opinion. Sorry, my mind blanked. I realized my soundboard's not on, but I'm pretty sure my microphone on the laptop is recording this. So the rant of the night is beware of cloud services. And if you're paying for something, you should audit what you're actually paying for to verify. I'm like, this guy's paying, because the end user's paying for, I turned off OneDrive because he didn't have an I turned off OneDrive and somebody's turned it back on. And I'm not sure if that particular end user is wise enough to turn on OneDrive, or if it's a friend who set up this computer, right? Anyway, beware of technology. Know what you're using. And if you don't know how it works, reach out for help. So that way you're not wasting time and energy setting up the wrong solutions, because at the end of the day, when flood, fire, theft, user error, hackers, some type of emergency happens, you don't really want to find out that you've spent time, energy, resources on a solution that doesn't work. Anyway, Mike Duffy signing out from upoentertainment.com and don'tgethacked.ca. If you have any questions, go check out our website, fill out the contact us form, or give us a call, and we'll help you sort out all your technology issues. Have a good night, good morning, good day. Bye.